to the College Football Breakdown with your hosts, Corey and Bret.
What's up, college football fans? Welcome to week 5 of the College Football Breakdown. I'm Bret, and he's
Corey.
Corey, what's up, buddy?
Not a whole lot, man. Just excited for the show.
Me too. I didn't get to hang out as much this week.
No, we didn't. Yeah, didn't work out.
Been a busy week.
That's right.
Pretty good week of college football, though.
Pretty good. It wasn't too bad. A couple of good games on the schedule.
Oh, yeah. We're coming to you live from the fan cave. I almost said man cave. The fan cave at Southern Traditions here off Highway 41 in Ringo, Georgia. Pretty cool store, huh?
It's a great store.
I saw new stuff in here today.
New product coming in all the time.
They keep it well stocked. Deidre does an awesome job, don't she?
Yes, she does. We're
just grateful to be here and be able to shoot the show from here. It's pretty cool stuff. It's a great store.
Yeah, it is. We got a great backdrop this week.
Oh, yeah.
Got the dogs behind us.
That's right. The red and black. Tennessee week.
Tennessee week. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Where's that game at?
It's in Knoxville, baby.
Oh, it's in Knoxville. Oh, I saw where.
We're going to talk about it a little bit later on in the show. Yeah, for sure.
Don't jump on that yet, right?
Right.
Well, you want to jump into tonight's first game?
Yeah.
Talk a little Clemson, North Carolina. What'd you think about that game, Corey?
Well, going into it, I'm sure a lot of people out there thought Clemson's going to have another cupcake win, and they probably should have. But guess what? That ain't what happened.
Early on, we gave North Carolina a chance, but then they lost to Appy State and Wake Forest.
That's right. Started out the year 2-0. Then they lost to Appy State, Wake Forest, which Wake Forest is an unbeaten team right now. So they're making their move into that top 25 at the moment.
Yeah.
But
Appy State, though.
Appy State.
They've done it before.
Yeah, they definitely have done it before. I'd like to see them in the ACC. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Stats are pretty even.
Very even.
Too even.
For a number one team in the nation.
Number one team in the country, baby.
And look, I understand when you're the number one team in the country, you get everybody's best shot. So when you show up, that team is going to play their best against you.
Absolutely.
I think still, with that being said, with the 2 losses that North Carolina's had, Clemson should have won that game theoretically, easily.
Handily.
But that's not what happened. And I think that's a testament to the true Clemson football team.
Of this year?
It's a new year.
I'm tempted to say the same thing, but I've been an Alabama fan for way too long. We've had that card pulled on us so many times through the years. And rightfully so. I mean, I definitely feel where you're coming from, and you may end up being right. But I think Clemson's hung over.
They could be, but that national championship game was back in January, right?
Yeah, they shouldn't be.
So they shouldn't be.
But 18 to 21-year-old kids.
True.
But let's talk about what they lost, and that may bring some perspective to it.
That's right.
They lost their whole defensive line, the best defensive line in the country last year.
I believe the majority of those guys all were drafted.
In the first round.
All are playing in the NFL. So they lost a ton on that defensive side of football.
And I mean, let's face it. They ain't Alabama yet.
2 out of the last 3 years might say different.
I said yet.
Yeah. They've won 20 games straight.
I'm just talking about being able to reload.
Okay.
But maybe they're better. I'm not saying they're not. I like their team.
They got some nice pieces on that defensive side still.
Yeah.
But they lost a lot off of last year's team.
Yeah.
Dabo's doing a great job up there. So, but North Carolina came to play. They put up a fight. I like the call at the end of the game to go for 2 to take the win. And honestly, I would have liked it either way because you're at home. You go for 2, try to get that kill shot.
120 left, something like that.
But if you kick the extra point and go to overtime, I'm good with that too,
Yeah.
because you got home field, you know. I think with Clemson's firepower on offense, it's going to be hard for North Carolina to beat them in overtime. But they played with them for 4 quarters.
What do you think about the play call?
The play call,
triple option.
yeah, that's probably a little questionable in my mind.
Me too.
It didn't look like it was very well designed. I think there's some.
It's not something they do a lot, is it?
Yeah, I would imagine not. But every team should practice a 2-point play, and every team should practice a 2-point play
For that week.
for a game-winning situation. Not just that week, but a game-winning situation. There's some plays you can call down there on the goal line, I believe, if you implement them, that are unstoppable. If you design and plan right, I believe you can score on any 2-point play that you
Run a pick play. If you get the flag, kick the field goal.
misdirection with options to run or throw. Which, you know, when the quarterback got tackled there was a guy standing almost in the end zone wide open. There wasn't nobody by him. And I'm like, why didn't he toss it? Why didn't he throw it to him? But he might have ran into, if it's a running play, not a run option play, he might have run into a situation where he had a lineman downfield or something.
I think if he takes his first option and hand it off, we're looking at a upset by North Carolina.
Maybe so.
There was definitely a lane there.
Yeah. But hats off to Mac Brown and North Carolina. I saw Dabo's comments after the game. He said, we got outplayed and we got outcoached, but we won the ball game. I mean, that's, you know.
So I say they're hungover. You say no?
I say no.
Yeah.
I say they're just not as good as they were last year.
When they lost they lost the little wide receiver who was a first down phenom. I mean, what was his name?
You're talking about
Renfro.
Yeah,
Dude.
Alabama knows him real well, don't they?
He was an expert on first down, buddy.
I believe he's playing for the Oakland Raiders now.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was picked like 120 something.
Yep. But he's on the Oakland Raiders team in the NFL right now. He's a unbelievable possession receiver, and he caught some big passes against Alabama.
Oh yeah.
A couple of championship games.
Absolutely.
But I believe
When
that
they ran the pick play.
this is just, you know, it's just not as good a Clemson team. They got tons of talent on the offensive side. But when you look at the stats, you know, basically the yardage was close to equal there. Passing, they had, 60 more yards than North Carolina. But on the rushing side of it, North Carolina outrushed them by 20 yards, so.
And on North Carolina's side, give them credit, they didn't turn the ball over.
That's right.
We talk about that a lot. If you turn the ball over, you're not going to upset somebody probably.
Right.
But if you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a shot.
Yeah, Clemson had one turnover, a fumble. Time of possession, North Carolina had it by a couple of minutes. So it was a very equal.
They only had 3 penalties, North Carolina. I mean, they played a good football game.
Good, solid ball game by the Tar Heels.
So play along with me for a minute. I say they're hungover, and I ask the question, will they come out of it? They don't play anybody, Corey. They're going to be there in the end.
I do understand what you're saying.
Last year they played Pitt. They played Pitt in the conference championship
championship game, and it wasn't a very good one, was it? Yeah. But, yes, I don't think their schedule's very tough down the stretch. However, I believe there's a couple of teams in the ACC, and just like I said earlier when we started talking about this, is they're going to get their best shot from everybody they play. Yeah. Even though now they're knocked off that number one pedestal, but they're still going to get everybody's best shot at it, And I think there'll be another couple of close ball games, and I think they'll probably lose a conference game before it's over this year.
Wow. Last year, they won at Texas A&M 28-26, and then they beat Syracuse at Syracuse 27-23. So, but you look at who they play down the stretch. They play Pitt in their conference championship game last year. They get Notre Dame in the first playoff game. Destroyed them. They didn't score a touchdown, did they?
Mm-mm.
And somebody from the West has to go run the gauntlet and play down the stretch now. LSU, Mississippi State, Auburn. It probably play Georgia in the SEC championship game, which is a championship game, a real one. and then get somebody like Oklahoma or Ohio State in the first round. So, in a way, I agree with you, but I'm not convinced yet.
Are they in your top 4?
You'll find out. We talked about the last play. Anything else you think about Clemson and?
No, not right off. I think got that covered.
You want to talk about clean AF?
Sure, absolutely. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'll try to hold it down maybe. But Rob Forgy, our buddy at Clean AF, alkaline formula, great cleaner. He has been a great partner so far in a short period of time.
Absolutely.
Rob has come on and gave us opportunity to give away his product during our giveaway game, and we got another one to give away tonight. He also, Bret, he has offered up a bottle of the cleaner to the first 10 customers to come into Southern Traditions and say and mention that they heard it on this show. He's going to give away a bottle of cleaner if you spend $10 or more in the store.
It's a pretty sweet deal.
That's an awesome deal.
Mention the college football breakdown.
Mention college football breakdown.
Spend $10.
First 10 people to come in and do it, spend $10. You get a free bottle of Clean AF to take home and try and tell all your friends and family about after you do it.
Go check out the Facebook page. You'll see the results.
It says it's a $10 value on the cleaner. So, yeah, Rob, we appreciate it, man. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
brother.
Yep. Hope to be able to
Keep it going.
keep it going.
Yeah.
That's right.
So come comment. Give us what your thoughts about Clemson. We're curious what you think about Clemson. Are they legit? Are they hungover? Are they going to be in the top 4 when it matters? So comment. It'd be awesome.
Moving on.
Moving on.
What we got next on the agenda?
Thought we talked briefly about Texas A&M and Arkansas.
Texas A&M and Arkansas. Why?
There wasn't much to talk about, was there?
There wasn't a whole lot to talk about, Bret.
It's at Arkansas. Texas A&M probably should have lost the game. Of course, Texas A&M or Arkansas caught some breaks in the game, but had more yards.
Arkansas has not performed very well this year.
No.
And I don't know their losses right off, but I know they got a couple of bad losses there.
Yes.
And, looking at the stats of this game, Arkansas had more yards.
Yeah.
Rushing yards was about equal, less than 100 for both of them. The only thing that Texas A&M had in their advantage was turnovers, and they turned the ball over more, not really in their advantage, but and time of possession. So that's pretty equally played ball game.
Does this say anything about the teams that are hanging their hats on the Texas A&M defeat? Clemson, Auburn.
Well, as I said last week, Texas A&M is going to be a 5-6 loss team by the time this year is over. So no, you should not be hanging your hat on, especially beating them at home like Clemson did.
Yeah.
Now you go on the road like Auburn did, and the score was not indicative of how bad Auburn beat them.
Right.
On their home field, and that's a tough environment to go play in.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Their fan base is wild and rowdy. So Auburn went there. I think the Auburn road win looks better than the Clemson home win.
I agree with that.
You know.
But I don't give either one of them.
But
much
either one of
credit.
them, no, you can't hang your hat on that.
Of course, I say that, and then they'll beat Alabama in a couple weeks.
We're gonna find out, ain't we? We're gonna find out for sure.
That's
Because
the
it's
way it
about
goes,
to get
though.
real.
It is, ain't it?
It's about to get real. Arkansas has lost to Ole Miss, San Jose State.
Yeah.
San Jose State lost this week after beating them.
So they got their hungover from beating Arkansas, I guess.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, that's
Not much to say about
about
that
all
game.
we can
Yeah.
chime in on that game there.
I just wanted your thoughts on people hanging their hat on that.
Yeah, I mean,
that defeat.
Not something that you should be beating your chest about.
Right. We've talked a lot about the quarterbacks in the Heisman context, but you wanted to talk about them in a little different context.
Yeah. I was curious to you guys out there as well as with Bret, who do you think is going to be a better pro quarterback between Tua, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, and Jake Fromm? We'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, we would.
We'll discuss it a little bit ourselves throughout the show, maybe back and forth. But
Yeah.
anyway, just something to conversate about.
So what do you think?
You know, as far as
I think I know who'll be drafted first, but
You
that
do?
don't mean nothing.
can you scroll that up?
Yeah, scroll
That up.
Yeah.
We ain't seeing the comments here. Now we're seeing the comments.
That helps, don't it?
Yeah, it helps. But I think Jake Fromm is the most pro-ready quarterback right now, as far as reading defenses, decision making, that kind of thing. Not that he don't make mistakes, because they all do. But you know, Tua, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Is it a product of playing in a system where he's got 3 unbelievable receivers that he's throwing the football to? All 3 are juniors, I think, right now.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those guys are going to play on Sundays in the NFL. Is it a product of having those receivers and, on top of that, having a really good offensive scheme?
Yeah.
I mean, when he's throwing the guys, they're not covered very well. He's hitting them, and they're wide open.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. You know, I think he's got a great arm, but I guess it'll be seen
Right.
where he gets to there.
In the future. Yeah. So what is the who's faced the most NFL type defenses and done the best, would you say, out of those 5?
Well, it's going to be Tua and Jake, I
Yeah.
believe. I mean, they've probably faced the best defenses.
Jalen at
Jalen, yeah, when he was at Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't think he's facing those now in the Big 12. But Chris Laggy says, has Fromm got a deep ball, though? We're going to find out, Chris, because I believe they're going to start airing it out a little bit.
I think they have to.
I think they're done with this conservative stuff.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to start throwing it around some and throwing some more deep stuff. I believe he can throw the ball deep, yes. Now, how accurate is he going to be? We'll see.
I think he's done pretty good with that in the big games I've seen him play with. Of course,
I've seen him miss some throws that he should have made that were deep balls through the years, the last couple of years. But that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Carolyn says, I love to say Jake Fromm for a pro-style offense. He reminds me of Peyton Manning. I can agree with that. I spoke about it in one of the other shows, you know.
I have to go on air and say I disagree.
Disagree with that?
Yeah. But I like Jake Fromm. I think he'll be in the NFL, but I don't think he'll be a starter. My opinion. Yeah. And I'm not convinced about Tua because
I ain't going to say he won't be a starter. It's a matter of how long he'll start.
Right.
If he gets on a bad team that don't have a great quarterback, he's going to start.
Yeah.
But how long is he going to start? Because
After last
he
week's,
may get beat up.
After last week's conversation, I went and looked, and he is highly. I mean, he's projected to go high in that first round. I mean, first round's high, so yeah. So that shocked me a little bit, but made me second guess myself.
I think he needs to come back a year. I think he needs to finish out his 4 years at Georgia. That may just be biased on my part, but
I think he will if he don't win it. Now, if he wins it this year,
I think he's one of those guys, though, that I think he enjoys the college atmosphere, and I think he'll be there for 2 years regardless.
Yeah, I think he'll come back. I would agree with that. Tua's gone. Jalen's done. Justin Fields is just a sophomore.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is coming out, right? He's senior.
Yeah, his is his senior year. He came back when he could have been drafted high last year. He's the one that I don't know if we got another, Tim Couch situation, Ryan Leaf situation. Got a huge gun for an arm, but does it translate to the pros?
Right.
I really don't know.
Right.
We'll have to wait and see where he ends up and where he turns out.
Oregon's got California coming to town this week, so I wanted to see him again. We talk about him a lot, so I want to see him again.
Speaking of Oregon and Justin Herbert, Oregon has not allowed a touchdown since the Auburn game. They have not allowed a touchdown since the Auburn game.
Have they not? Wow.
No, they have not. So
that's
pretty stout.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Auburn team's pretty good. We can talk some more about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk about Alabama, Ole Miss.
Alabama, Ole Miss. I tell you what, I want to talk about it.
What's that?
First quarter, Ole Miss up 10-7, baby, when that thing's over.
When it's over.
When the first quarter ends, Ole Miss up 10-7.
Yeah, that's right. They were up.
Now you can talk about the rest of it.
Did you like that?
Well, I mean, it got me excited for a little bit,
Right.
Like, they're vulnerable.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely vulnerable.
But it didn't turn out that way. Put up 31 in the second quarter.
Yeah. I was, and I guess, we are a little bit when our team don't do as well, but I was a little impressed with the Ole Miss offense with that, the little quarterback they had in there. He was pretty good, and I look back, he did pretty good against Cal, too, when they came to town. What was his name? John Rice Plumlee. Yeah. So he looked pretty good. Ole Miss had 90 plays in the game. Alabama had 67.
That's something that's got to be concerning for Alabama
absolutely.
fans, man, is how many plays the defense is on the field.
Yeah. Saban's talked about the last 2 weeks.
You get against a team that can control the football, like Auburn, like Georgia, on the ground, eat up the clock. Don't give your offense a chance. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they'll outscore some of the better teams they play, but I also think that they're going to lose a game or two.
There's no doubt their offense is going to score on anybody.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just a matter of how many opportunities they get.
Right.
They get an Auburn team or a Georgia team, just like I said.
And, I mean, even without all the plays, the defense ain't as good as it has been. They'll get better. They're young.
Yeah, they got some young guys.
But it ain't as good as it should be right now. Devontae Smith had 11 catches, 274 yards, and 5 touchdowns. The dude was on fire.
School record.
Yeah.
Him and Tua both.
Yeah. Tua ended up having
some
6.
school records. So, they lit it up. I was surprised, honestly, that Tua played the whole ball game. What's up with that? You're up.
He didn't play the whole ball game.
He did.
No.
Was he not in there in the last few minutes when they scored the last touchdown? Alabama scored their last touchdown. He threw the touchdown pass.
What's his name came in, though.
And there was one possession after he threw that touchdown pass.
So all of it but one possession.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played a lot. All I know is Saban talked last year about, there was a lot of games where they didn't play 4 quarters, and so he thought it kind of bit him a little bit. But I agree, it's a little weird. But it is what it is.
Well, along those same lines I thought with some of these Georgia games where they had guys out early, when it got down to that game with Notre Dame, I was sitting there thinking, we should have been playing more time together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should have kept working on our craft and our expertise, even though we was blowing somebody out.
Right.
Because when you get in a game like a tight, tough ball game like that, and you don't have. I mean, I think it helps. I think it
SEC
helps.
type competition.
That's right.
Yeah. And so don't do it every week, but maybe do it some.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
What do you think about? I mean, we talked a little bit. I was a little shocked Alabama gave up 31 points.
And I think didn't Ole Miss score late
Yeah.
to make it 31?
Yeah.
Something.
Alabama muffed a punt. They pulled a Georgia, muffed a punt. Ole Miss got the ball deep in Alabama's territory.
Yeah.
One time, but
A lot of penalties on both sides.
476 yards. Yeah, I didn't even recognize that in the game.
A lot of penalties from both sides.
Looking at both stats, I didn't recognize that in the game.
Ole Miss, albeit not very much, had more time possession.
Right.
But of course when Alabama scores as fast as they do.
Well, I was thinking about it, and the only relief I'll give that defense is, you can ask Bo, I was pretty mad Saturday, but when they're outscoring everybody like they are, teams are going for it on fourth down in the first half. I mean, South Carolina did it, Ole Miss did it. Multiple times in the first half, they're going for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
So, I've been hard on the defense, so I figured I'd toss that in there. And literally, those teams have nothing to lose when they come in there. I guess same with UNC and Clemson.
Yeah. They're going.
Andy Shirley says Bama can score in 3 seconds, though.
They can.
Yeah.
If they're on the 3-yard line.
That's right. So, you want to talk about Mississippi State and Auburn?
Yeah, I think that was kind of our big game of the week that we were kind of interested to see
Yeah.
how things were going to shape up with that ball game. Again, it was a tough football game like we said it would be.
Yeah.
A lot of big hits.
Yeah.
One was a little bit cheap and late. I don't know if you saw it or not, but defensive guy from Mississippi State hits one of the Auburn guys late, gets a unsportsmanlike
Did he?
targeting call. Mm-hmm.
I missed that.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, is that where he hit him right here?
Well, he did drop the ball. Ball's on the ground. 1, 2, 3 steps, and then he drills him.
He had the ball or not?
He didn't have the ball.
Oh, I got you.
And it was plain. I mean, he saw him drop it, and dude just continues on and drills him,
Probably frustrated. That doesn't.
Could have been.
That doesn't justify it.
That hit. It was target.
Yeah. But, Auburn kind of took control of that ball game right off the bat. Scored quickly, 21-0.
With 8:59 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, and just, it was over before it got going real good. But Mississippi State fought hard.
Yeah. But when you're up 21-0 with 8:59 or 8:49 to go in the first quarter, you kind of set the tone a little bit.
And then you're up, 49-9 at halftime?
Yeah. Yeah, the game's over.
Yeah. 49-9 at the half. Then Auburn turns around and opens up the second half. Goes 75 yards for a touchdown. And, they're up 49-9. 42-9 at the half. 49-9 right off the bat in the second half. So
I mean, that tells you Gus is coming up with the right plays at the right time. I mean, week after week, they've had great starts.
Yeah.
Week after week.
That's right.
Maybe with the exception of the Oregon game, but they battled through and came back and won that one. So maybe they can do both.
Multiple turnovers in this game from both teams. 2 for Mississippi State, 3 for Auburn. So, kind of a little bit of a sloppy deal, but I think most of the Auburn turnovers were after they had their backups in.
Yeah. With the schedule that Auburn has, they can definitely be a one-loss team and make it in the playoff.
They can be. Yeah, I believe if they lose to the team that wins the SEC championship, if that's their only loss, I think they still be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if they lose to Alabama or LSU in the West, and then they don't make it to the championship game, and Alabama or LSU loses to a Georgia, which we feel like is probably going to be who's there, then I don't know if Auburn can get in.
So that would have mean they would have beaten Oregon. That would have mean they'd beaten Florida, Georgia, LSU. Whew.
Yeah.
That would seem like that wouldn't be right.
Right.
But I could definitely see where you come from. It could happen.
But if Alabama, let's just say Alabama's the one that wins out of the West and goes undefeated out of the West.
Auburn or Alabama?
Alabama.
Yeah.
And let's say they lose to a one-loss Georgia that was beaten by Auburn during the regular season,
Yeah.
for instance. Does Auburn still get in? I don't think so.
Yeah.
In that scenario.
Probably not.
I don't believe they would.
What about the Gus Bus? I mean, rolling pretty good.
You know,
now.
he took over.
They're 30-20. He's 30-20 in the SEC right now.
He gave up the play calling 2 years ago, was it?
Bad decision.
And then he took it back over in the bowl game this past bowl season.
Yeah.
And now he's still calling plays now. And it looks like that's probably where he needs to stay.
I think so.
He needs to be calling those plays because,
I agree.
I mean, it's hard to argue with, 578 yards of total offense. What surprises me is,
With a freshman quarterback.
Bo, is this correct? 361 yards passing
For Bo Nix.
for Bo Nix? Really? I would
got-
have thought it had been reversed. I thought of the rushing would have been the 361, the passing be the 217 myself. That's what I was thinking. But Bo Nix did. He went 16 for 21, 335 yards. So, yeah. Uh-oh. They got a passing game along with that running game.
Well,
we may all be in trouble
Well, and it was down the field. I mean, there were several of them were nice passes down the field.
down the field.
So
Sweet.
the kid looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a player.
So you were talking about that run pass scenario.
Mm-hmm.
In 2013, when Auburn went 7-1 in the SEC and made it to the national championship game, they lost that game though, right? 2013. I think they lost that game. But that year they had a great year. They had 72% runs. 72% runs. Went 7-1 SEC. Made it to the national championship. Undefeated, I guess, in non-SEC schedule. This year he's running at 73%. And he's 2-0.
Well, it's a good combination when you can run the football and play defense. A very good combination.
Yeah. And I hate the gimmick offense. But if you watch them real close, it's power football.
It is.
And
It's not
impressive.
finesse.
Yeah.
And
every time you hear him talk, he talks about we gotta be better up front. We gotta be better. We gotta be the best team up front. And a lot of times they are.
it's creative, well-designed plays that typically go for big yardage.
Yeah. I don't see anybody slowing them down. I mean, maybe slow them down, but I don't see anybody stopping them.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out over the next 4 to 5, 6 weeks.
So they got Florida this week. Isn't that our game of the week?
That's going to be the game of the week.
Yeah.
Yes. Auburn, Florida.
Auburn, Florida's game of the week.
And I don't believe Florida's going to put up much of a fight.
I don't either.
I just don't see it. I mean, if they do, okay, my hat's off to them. But, man, no, I don't see it.
So they got at Florida, at LSU, Georgia at home, Alabama at home. How many of those games are they going to win?
At Florida, at LSU, Georgia at home, Alabama at home. Bret, don't ask me these kind of questions, man. I don't want to have to answer that. I really
You're
don't
taking
know,
an educated
man.
guess.
I don't know how many of those games they're going to win. Man. They're going to beat Florida. So that's one right off the bat.
Yeah.
So the question is, who are they going to beat or who are they going to lose to between LSU,
At LSU.
Alabama, and Georgia? Well, I'm definitely not saying they're going to beat Georgia because, I can't have that happening. So it's either going to be Alabama or LSU that they're going to – I think they beat LSU.
At
I think they
LSU?
go 2-2. They beat LSU at LSU because they're going to run the football, play defense. They're going to control it. They're going to keep the ball away from that high-powered offense at LSU. Same thing they're going to do to Alabama. Keep it away from them.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to outscore them. You got to hope you get ahead and you keep them off the field.
One thing I say about Auburn is they tend to get better. That's why I always hate playing them at the end of the year.
Sure. Yeah.
So if they can keep getting better this year, I wouldn't be picking Alabama at Auburn. I'd be picking Auburn. But I still think, I know they lose one of those 4, maybe 2, but I can't see them losing more than 2.
No, they're not going to lose more than 2.
So they lost to Florida State in the national championship game. That's right, in 2013.
Jeremiah says he disagrees. Florida's athletic. Trask is better than Felipe. I'll give you that for sure. Auburn wins, but closer than most think. Florida boys can ball.
That's a Tennessee fan.
That's a Tennessee fan.
Trask is better than Felipe.
Yes.
I would totally.
He is.
That's the best thing that happened.
He makes them a better football team, but they're about to get exposed, and I think they're going to keep getting exposed when they get in these tough ball games.
But I told you earlier, I think Auburn will beat Georgia at home, but I think if it was at Georgia, I think I'd pick Georgia. So them two could meet again, possibly, in the SEC championship game.
I definitely ain't.
In a neutral field.
I'm not going into that one real confident.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to sit back and watch it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Right. That's
you
why
know
it's
what
fun,
I mean? I mean,
baby.
it's just
You ain't letting me come over to watch that one with you, are you?
nah. You might as well just stay at home.
Auburn ran 69 plays in the game. Mississippi State only ran 54.
69-54.
69 to 54. We're cruising along today.
We getting through it?
Yeah, man.
Well, we got plenty of other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do. You said that Auburn would be a good lead into the top 5 in the country.
Top 5 in the country, yeah. That's a great lead in.
Did you notice? And let me just say, we're coming to you from Southern Traditions, 9534 Highway 41 in Ringo, Georgia. Awesome store. If you've heard us talk about it week after week, so if you haven't checked it out, you need to.
The best fan cave you'll find in the tri-state area
Absolutely.
by far.
And it's just right outside of Ringo. I mean, you can get off at the Tunnel Hill exit
Or the Ringo
exit and be here in 6 minutes, 8 minutes.
Less than that. I mean, you're talking 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes either way, probably.
Yeah.
If you don't hit any red lights coming off the Ringo exit, main Ringo exit.
Southern Traditions.
Right across from Cherokee Valley Road, if you're familiar with that.
Check it out. I was walking in. I saw 100 foot of rope for $5.
100 foot of rope
For $5.
$5.
I mean, that's just little things like that make this store awesome.
I tell you, the front of the store outside has got that Gatlinburg feel, so to speak.
Yeah.
A lot of wood stuff out there, some college football signage, wood signs out front. Just, really, really cool place across the board.
Oh, yeah.
So come in and thank these guys for allowing us to be here and host this show from here with all this great memorabilia around us and behind us. It's very cool for us, and we really appreciate it.
Mention us this week.
Mention us this week,
Spend $10.
and you get a free bottle of Clean AF from Mr. Rob Forgy,
So,
taking care of the College Football Breakdown Show and you guys.
that's right. So, check it out. Hey, Roxanne. What's up, girl? Been praying for you. Hope you're doing good.
What we're going to next?
Top 5,
Top
baby.
5.
Yeah. I base my top 5 off of who I think, first of all, will be in the playoff.
Who will be in the
Who
playoffs?
will be in the playoffs.
Okay.
And who the best 5 teams are. Corey looks at it a little different.
I do.
Which,
I do. I like to look at 2019
yeah.
and what these teams have done to this point. And a little bit of the eyeball test.
So there's a little bit of that in
A little bit, yeah. Yes, Bo's pointing out USC last week. And as I said, if they lose to Washington, and they did,
And
I
you
said
figured they
they
would.
will not be in my top 5 this week.
But
And
you
they're
only
not.
had them 5, right?
Yeah, I only had them 5th. I mean, comparative to the schedule they played, compared to Alabama's schedule, Clemson's schedule, USC's undefeated if they play those two schedules.
Probably.
So, anyway, that's what I based that off of. They're not in my top 5 this week. I'll go ahead and tell you that. And won't be back in it the rest of the year.
Just a little teaser for you.
Just a little fun.
All right, I got Clemson number 1.
What are you talking about?
Clemson, the Tigers,
Bret, what are you talking about, dude?
number 1.
Because they won the national championship last year and beat your Crimson Tide daylights out of them. Like, they're the best team in the country.
They got the second best coach in the country.
He's a good one.
He's a real good
He's
one.
a real good one. They're not the number 1 team in the country,
We're
bro.
going to find out what he's made of this year, ain't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got Clemson number 1. I got Alabama number 2. I got Georgia number 3. And it's been that way.
Yeah, it is.
It's been that way every
Vanilla.
week. This is
Vanilla.
week 5. Consistency.
Vanilla.
I got LSU number 4. I bumped Wisconsin out. I watched them play Northwestern. They're too slow.
That's a little bit of a tough ball game for
Yeah,
them.
they're just too slow. Now, I like that Northwestern's coach. Help me with his name.
What is his name, man? Yeah, you're going to have to help us out. I don't know right off.
But I got Ohio State / Auburn, number 5.
Ohio State / Auburn.
Number 5. Clemson, I'm sticking with them, I think, until I'm proven otherwise.
Tell me what you've seen so far with Clemson. What makes you think they're the number 1 team in the land?
I think they have the best quarterback. We didn't even have him. We didn't even have him in our top 5. Talking about, of course, he's so young. Maybe that's why.
Didn't have him in our top 5.
We didn't have him in our 5 to talk
Yeah,
about.
we
the
could have put
future.
him in there because we do have Justin Fields in there. So, yeah, we'll throw him in there.
Yeah,
Let's add him to that list of who's
That
going to have the better
conversation.
pro career.
yeah.
Yeah, let's add him in that.
Pat Fitzgerald.
Pat Fitzgerald's a
Northwestern.
Northwestern coach. He's done a good job there.
Yeah, they upset several.
Academic school, try and play Division I football.
Yeah. So I think they've got. I think they're hungover. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think they're hungover. I think that they've won 20 in a row, like you said. I mean, they're kids. I think maybe this will wake them up. And I think we're going to find out that Jeremiah says Trevor's not in the top 5. Oh, then he said, not top 5.
Trevor,
Okay,
not top
then
5.
that look. Okay, I got you now.
Maybe best QB out here.
I wonder about their defense a little bit, but we'll see.
Carolyn's asking you to wake up. Clemson number 1? What are you talking about, Bret?
Yep, number 1.
I just don't see it. I don't see them. They're just not there compared to what I've seen so far
Yeah,
with the eyeball test.
yeah.
This week it's eyeball test. Y'all catch on to that. Not resume this week. It's eyeball test this week. Just like we talked about, Texas A&M, can't brag. You can't beat your chest about beating them this year.
No, you can't.
They're not very good. So who else have they played and beaten?
Nobody.
Okay, that's my point.
Neither
and-
is Alabama.
and that-
Alabama hasn't played anybody.
Well, but Clemson goes on the road to North Carolina,
Yeah,
a 2-2 North Carolina team. That's, Mac Brown's got a little
mojo going.
mojo going up there. And they did get North Carolina's best shot. They did. But if you're the best team in the country, you win that game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
If you're the best team in the country, you
Yeah.
win that game by 2 touchdowns with them giving you their best shot.
right.
So, with that being said, you want me to give my top 5 right
Yeah.
now, or you want to talk about it a little bit more on yours?
I think Alabama, Georgia, LSU. I think interchangeable. Maybe even Auburn in there interchangeable. I'm just not convinced about Ohio State, Wisconsin. I want to see that one go down. I think I'll be picking Ohio State. I think we'll both be picking Ohio State in that game in a few weeks.
Ohio State's got a game against a 1-loss Michigan State team coming up this week.
Yeah.
But it's at home. I say they're probably still going to win by 3 touchdowns, just like
Right.
they have been. But, we'll learn a little bit more about them maybe in this
Exactly.
game. But going to my top 5, I still have Auburn number 1. Yeah, Texas A&M don't look so good now that they struggled a little bit with Arkansas. But it's still, they were ranked 17th at the time when they went in there and beat them.
What were they ranked when Clemson beat them?
When Clemson beat them,
Higher than that.
11th or so,
Yeah.
something like that maybe. But anyway, Auburn I just feel like has the best resume
Yeah.
at this point. And I like the looks of what's going on there with the rushing attack, with the defense being played.
At Auburn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at Auburn.
Who
LSU,
do you think's the best team in the country?
the best team in the country right now. Auburn. I told you, they're my number 1. They're my number 1.
Brittany Seagroves wants a Sunday's her birthday. She wants a Gold Vols birthday shout out to Brittany Seagroves Everett.
Brittany, happy birthday. What you're asking? Go Dogs? Go Dogs.
We'll say it backwards. Slavog. Slavog.
Brittany, if Tennessee beats Georgia this week, I'll give you a Go Vols next week on the show.
And so will I.
How about that?
I will too.
How about that? But happy birthday early.
Yes, happy birthday.
What we got up there, Texas A&M was ranked 12th when Clemson beat them, and they were 17th when Auburn beat them. Now they're out of the top 5 probably. Out of the top 25 probably. But I've got Auburn number 1. I've got LSU number 2. And the reason I have LSU number 2 is I love the offense. Man, they can light it up just like Alabama.
Yeah.
They can light it up. But they have a really good road win, I believe. They got the best win of the year so far.
Yeah.
Going on the road, winning at Texas.
Against that tough defense.
I believe that's the best win to this point in the season of any team out there.
It's that tough defense of Texas.
Hey, let me ask you this. Of the Big 12 teams,
Yeah.
which one would you most consider SEC worthy?
The Big 12?
Mm-hmm. From a toughness standpoint, from playing defense and running the football,
You could go.
Texas. Go ahead and
Texas
say it.
or
Texas. Go
Oklahoma.
ahead and say it. Oklahoma don't play defense.
Texas don't play defense.
Yes, they do.
Well, they were like 13th in passing defense last year in their conference.
That was
Terrible.
last year. That was last
I
year.
know. I'm about
Talking
to
about
say.
this year.
That only goes so far, right?
But anyway, yes. LSU has lit it up. It don't matter whose defense. Just wait till they play Alabama's defense.
I don't know if I'm.
They're
looking
going to
forward
light
to
that up too.
Still in there.
Texas A&M's 25th, so they're hanging on by a thread. But anyway, LSU's my number 2. Ohio State's my number 3.
Yeah,
Ohio State has
that's another terrible pick.
I think it's a great pick, Bret. And I'm going to prove to you why.
Why?
Because they've been dominant in every aspect of every game they played. Now, competition level, maybe not. But
Yeah.
you can say that about a lot of teams.
You can.
You can say that about a lot of teams. They go on the road to Nebraska this week. I thought maybe Nebraska will give them a little trouble. Nebraska wasn't no trouble for them.
Nebraska ain't been no trouble for anybody.
Well, they were 3-1 going into the game. And I mean, Ohio State beat them like they beat Chattanooga.
Who did they lose to?
Nebraska?
Yeah.
Who was it? It wasn't a good loss. It was a bad loss. I do know that, but I don't remember exactly who they lost to.
I'm a little bit of an SEC homer, so I mean,
I get it. I get that.
Ohio State. I got them in the mention in the conversation.
And I just feel like from what I've seen with them, they're solid on both sides of the football. Solid on both sides of football. They lost to Colorado. That's not a bad loss. That's not a bad loss at all because Colorado's still playing well.
And it was at Colorado.
Yeah, it was at Colorado, so it's not a terrible loss. Georgia number 4, only because of the home win against Notre Dame. I mean, that's the only real contest they've been in this
Right.
year. And then I've got Alabama number 5. Alabama breaks my top 5 this week.
They were out last week.
They were out last week.
That's right. I forgot
Clemson's
about
not
that.
in there. Clemson
Oh,
wasn't in
yeah.
there last week either. They probably won't get back in there.
No, they'll get back in there.
They won't be back in there.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna have to be a lot happen for them to get back in my
we
top
got a lot of
5
time.
because they're gonna lose
Let me
before
ask you
this regular
if
season's
Georgia
over.
and Ohio State play 10 games against each other on a neutral field, who comes out ahead?
It's 5-5.
You think so?
I do believe that. I think 5-5 is what the best shot we'd have.
I think about week 6 of that matchup, Georgia's got 10 times more athletes than Ohio State does. And I think Georgia wins the last 4 games to go up 7-5. 7-3. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I see it 5-5 right there.
That's fair. I asked. I like your top 5.
Well, thank you.
Keeps it interesting.
I think it's I mean, look, let me just throw a few little stats at you about my top 5
All
real
right,
quick.
Let's get it.
Auburn, number 1 team in the country, in my book.
Yeah.
They're 14th in rushing nationally.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving up 17.2 points a game.
They're only 14th rushing?
They're only 14th in rushing. Yeah.
That makes me feel a little better.
They can still get it done, though, brother. They still get it done.
Because when they run that reverse against Alabama, we're going to stay at home.
You're going to stay home and eat it?
I'm kidding.
They're
I'm
scoring.
I'm scared to
They're
death to play
scoring
'em.
38, but keep in mind, they're playing better competition than anybody else so far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, they got Mississippi State on their docket. They got Texas A&M on their docket. They got Oregon on their docket.
Yeah.
What other 3 teams does anybody else have on their docket?
Right.
You know, LSU, second in passing. They're scoring 57.8 points a game, number 1 in the nation. And they're giving up 23.3. They got that Alabama syndrome going on right now.
Yeah, they do.
They're giving up some points on defense, but they're outscoring people like crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they're banged up on defense a little bit.
and they could be. Georgia, 12th in rushing in the nation. Georgia's better than Auburn in rushing in the nation right now.
I believe it. Got
There's-
a better offensive line.
They're 11th in scoring at 42.8 a game. They're only giving up 10 points a game.
That's big.
Ohio State, they're 7th in rushing in the nation right now. They're scoring 52.4 a game, 3rd in the nation in that category. They're only giving up 8.6 points a game. 8.5 points a game, that's all they're giving up. Alabama is 3rd in passing. They're scoring 51.8. That's good for 4th in the nation. And they're allowing 14.8 points a game, which I thought that was kind of low, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it'd be worse.
I thought it'd be a
than
little bit higher
Yeah, I
when
did
I
too.
first saw that. Just because of, the 31 they gave up to
that. I think they had a
Ole
shutout
Miss,
in there,
and
didn't
then they gave up how many to South Carolina, was it? I thought that would have skewed it more, but 14.8. So that's respectable. They're 57th overall nationally in rushing.
Yeah, it's concerning.
You got to run that ball. But yeah, anyway,
So
moving right along.
Oh yeah. ESPN Power Rankings has Alabama, Ohio State, Auburn, Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, LSU. That's weird.
Yeah, the power rankings has got Auburn up there, top 3.
Yeah.
But the coaches or the AP poll, they've got Auburn,
7th.
7th and 8th. And I'm like, what are these people looking at?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that. But anyway, it's going to be fun shaping it all up as the season progresses. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a blast talking about it as these games start to unfold against these big
there's going to
teams.
be a lot of good games. out there.
SEC's got how many teams in the top 9? Five teams in the top 9, and all those are going to play each other. at some point. So there's going to be some.
Starting with Auburn and Florida.
Starting with Auburn and Florida this week. Game of the week, pick of the week. We'll have a post up tomorrow. Right, Bo? Mm-hmm. And y'all be able to submit your final scores for our giveaway for next week.
What you want to talk about?
Where we at now? 54. We better get on to the Heisman Trophy real quick.
You want to do studs and duds first?
Studs and duds, yes. Let's do that. I don't feel good about my studs and duds this week. I mean, I just ain't really got any great ones.
I know.
I'll lead.
Go for it.
You know, for individual studs, I'm going to go with one. There's a couple, and I'm going to leave one to you.
All right.
But my stud of the week is Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard. You know who that is?
No.
He is a running back for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The only thing Chuba done this week was carry the ball 25 times for 296 yards.
Good grief.
11.8 yards a carry. He only had one touchdown in the game, but against a Kansas State defense. Kansas State usually plays some defense.
Yeah, that's tough.
And the boy almost went for 300 against them. Chuba. Sophomore running back at Oklahoma State.
That's awesome. My individual stat, I got Devontae Smith, 11 catches, 274 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I also had David Cutcliffe for going to Virginia Tech and winning 45-10.
Nice. Yeah, you got that on your resume.
45-10, baby.
Duke, Alabama handled them early in the year. You're like, yeah.
I just like David Cutcliffe.
I do too. He's a great coach.
But, yeah, that's part of my thinking, too.
He's a really good coach.
He is.
And, yeah, it looks good for you. That helps.
That does help. Even though Virginia Tech,
yeah,
still to go there and score 45. And they started out horrible.
Started the game bad.
Yeah, the first quarter, they were dead. I mean, couldn't move the ball for nothing.
Jim's on vacation this week. He's out in San Diego, California.
That ain't right.
He said he did not get a chance to watch a single game, vacation. But he did have a chance to watch the championship game from last year. Quite a story about the freshmen smoking GA. Sorry I hated Auburn winning, but it was amazing. Thanks for tuning in, Jim, from across the country.
That's one of my favorite cities.
San Diego. Like that?
Beautiful.
I've heard the weather is unbelievable there.
Oh, yeah. I'd take some of that right now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, buddy. But, yeah, I mean, that is a good win right there.
Yeah.
Duke going into Blacksburg and
handling it.
Taking care of business.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Who you got for your team?
My team stud of the week.
What,
I think you had them last week.
We might have the same one.
I got SMU.
Yeah.
The same one?
Yeah, we got the same one.
SMU enters the top 25 for the first time since 1986, the year before they got the death penalty.
Yeah. And they had to go 5-0 to do it.
Yeah.
Let's see who they beat. They beat TCU. They beat South Florida, 48-21.
That's it.
Texas State, Arkansas State, North Texas. So, 2 decent wins.
I did see the Arkansas State quarterback. He led the nation this week in passing yards.
That's
Georgia
good.
had to face him.
Yeah.
He was the weekly leader in passing yards.
Right.
And his receiver was one of the top receivers. Of course, that should go hand in hand, right?
Hey, did you know that quarterback for Ole Miss? I meant to say this. That Plumlee guy. He was recruited by Georgia.
I saw something a minute ago where Carolyn mentioned it, said that he committed to Georgia originally.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Alabama recruited him as a safety. Wanted him to play safety for him.
Really?
He runs like 4.4. He's an athlete. He's a brilliant, smart guy. But it'd be interesting to see what he can do. I just thought it was neat that Georgia and Alabama both recruited him.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim, we got nothing for you on that story, okay? That was last year. We're talking about 2019. Just because your Vols are having a rough year, don't be bringing up old stuff.
You think the Vols would like to have David Cutcliffe as a head coach?
I think they'd love to have him as head coach. I think it'd been real smart to hire him back when they got rid of Fulmer.
Yeah.
He would have been a good one
He would have.
for sure.
What
What about
what great quarterback wouldn't want to go play for David Cutcliffe
Yeah,
at
you're right.
Tennessee?
You're
Now,
right.
Duke, that might be a little different.
You're right. But his quarterback from last year, he's got the starting job now at the Giants,
That's
and they're
right,
2-0, and he's the talk of the NFL right now as far as what he's
like
been able to do.
6'6" or something.
He's 6'4", 6'5", something like that. But what you got for duds?
Team, I got Clemson's offense.
That's a good pick. Clemson's on top of my list,
I got Maryland.
but they're your number one team.
They laid an egg, dude.
Exactly.
They laid an egg.
Oh, is that what happened? Yeah, because they ain't very good.
They may not be. I may be proven wrong. Maryland got beat 59-0.
That's my two.
Oh, my
See,
bad.
man, we're just smart.
We are.
We're smart.
Great minds think alike.
Clemson and Maryland, dud teams of the week for sure.
Yeah.
Goose egg for Maryland after scoring 60-something and 70-something in the first two games of the
They
year.
set a record for the first two games of the year.
Yes.
Two
and
goose
you,
eggs since
And
then.
you get blanked twice in a row?
It's bad.
Man, that is bad.
What about your individual dud?
I was going to ask you the same thing, Brett.
I got Mike Leach.
Mike Leach.
Yeah.
He's on my list.
Is he really?
He is.
That's awesome.
He is. That was terrible,
You
man.
may, you may
That's
quote him
terrible.
right here.
You can quote him. It was awful. I just can't imagine. I think from what I heard come out of his mouth about his team, I believe that's a fireable offense in my mind.
Yeah.
You know what?
If I said it to them in the
you
locker
say
room,
it to them in the locker room, that's one thing. But you say it on national television and it's going to get broadcast on all the TV stations. I mean, unless he just had a thing with his team, said, look, boys, I'm going to make some noise and get things
Right.
stirred up. You know what I mean?
I doubt that, though.
Well, but with him, I'm not sure if I do doubt it because he's very eccentric.
Well, he wasn't mad. He wasn't
No, he wasn't.
flying off the handle.
Yeah.
But that kind of makes it worse, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it
does.
Here's the quote.
Yeah,
after,
you can quote him.
After a 38-13 beatdown by Utah, here's what Mike Leach said about his team. He was talking about how tough Utah was, and then he says, it's difficult to say how tough Utah is because they had token resistance on both sides of the ball from us. And we're a very soft team. We get a lot of good press. We like to read it a lot. We pat ourselves on the back a lot, and if we get any resistance, we fold. And what's amazing about this is that most of these guys were on the same team last year, and it was a tough team. Last year's team was a tough team for us. And we got nearly the same guys back. All of a sudden, they're not tough. They're fat, dumb, and happy and entitled.
That's going to lose he's going to lose his team saying that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. I mean, the team ain't going to respect him because that was just very disrespectful on his part.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you got to have some respect both ways, you know. His team got beat. They got handled. And he just needs to go back and work on his stuff and make his team better. That was uncalled for. I just can't. I
understand the ups and downs of a coaching year and the coaching experience, but I mean, the same guy, right, that in 2009 got fired from Texas Tech for putting a kid in the locker room, locking him up in the storage room. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
As punishment.
You know, and he usually his clips of his speeches kind of are a little entertaining. But this was not entertaining whatsoever.
It was disappointing.
It was very disappointing to know that a head coach is going to say those kind of things. You know, if he's disappointed in his team and their ability, and if he thinks they feel like they're entitled, you know what? Discuss that with them.
Yeah.
And get a hold of them in private.
Yes.
Within your community, not putting it out there on national television. But yeah, he was on my list, and I had one more on my individual was, and I mentioned it earlier, was the defensive. I thought he's a linebacker, but he's actually a defensive back that took that cheap shot on the Auburn player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't like that. I thought that was a dud move.
Might have been.
So, but Mike
believe
Leach,
you.
absolutely the
The
dud.
dud of the week.
Yep. Oh, Showa.
You want to talk Heisman?
Yeah. Let's just run through the top 5.
Who you got?
I got Tua, number 1 right now on my Heisman list. Jalen, second. Justin Fields 3rd, Joe Burrow 4th, and Chuba Hubbard 5th on my list right now.
Do you?
Yeah. He surpassed Jonathan Taylor on my list when I did a little research on him.
What's his numbers look like? Don't have them right in front of you?
I do. I got some. Yeah. I've got his overall, he's got 128 carries on the year for 938 yards and 10 TDs. So he's averaging 187.6 yards per game.
He's getting the ball a lot.
This past game where he rushed for 296 yards, guess whose records he broke for single game rushing?
Who's?
Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. Two guys that had
That's a good find.
two very long careers in the NFL right there.
I think that's a great find by Corey. I think we need to keep him on the up and up. I got 2 of Jalen. I got Joe Burrow 3rd. I got Jonathan Taylor 4th. I still think he's the best running back in the country, but I might have to check this guy out. I got Justin Fields 5th. So pretty close. Tua's got 23 touchdowns, no interceptions.
That's tough. That's some good numbers right there. I'll take them all day, every day.
Absolutely. Ranked 2nd in passing yards and 1st in passing touchdowns. And I hadn't played many fourth quarters except for this week.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait till we're playing full football games.
Yeah.
Still these half games.
That's right. To get to the good ones.
That's right.
We're coming at you from Southern Traditions here in Ringo, Georgia. Right off Highway 41. Again, please come check them out. They'd greatly appreciate it. Come this week.
Spend $10 in the store or more, and you get you a free bottle of Clean AF. It's hard with that light up there shining on it. I can't get the thing to where you can actually see it. But get you a bottle of cleaner. Rob Forgy taking care of us on this. To the first 10 customers that come in and mention that they saw it on College Football Breakdown Show, spend $10 in the store and get you a free cleaner. I still am not getting that blocked out too good, am I?
It's worth a try, though.
I know it. Clean alkaline formula.
That's it.
Also, our giveaway this week is to Nathan Ledford. He got the closest final score. Y'all gave me a little heck about this. What was that comment you made there, Bo?
I think it's actually me. You only had us scoring 41.
Underestimating Alabama's offense. It looks like I overestimated their defense a little bit.
That's a pretty good comeback right there. Yeah. I had to delete that comment, by the way.
Did you delete it? Are you serious? Can't believe we got it on video now.
That's true.
But anyway, Nathan, we have got you hooked up with a bottle of the cleaner that we just talked about, as well as a Georgia magnet.
Sweet.
Pretty cool looking decal.
It is different.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That looked good on the door going to the game.
But anyway, Nathan, come by the store anytime between 10 and 6, Monday through Saturday, or 1 to 4 on Sunday, I believe they're open. So you can come by anytime during that time and pick this up. It'll be behind the counter. So,
do we want to take a call?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to post the number.
Somebody can call in here.
Bo's going to post the number to call. Somebody like to call in and ask a question? I'll be glad to take the call. Have a short little conversation with you. Meanwhile,
it's not cold enough yet, honey.
What'd she say?
She said, I hope Corey remembers to buy my sweatshirt. That sweatshirt right back behind us, she's wanting one. And I'm like, look, when it gets sweatshirt weather,
for real,
I'll pick it up.
I like the red one better.
There's the number, 706-550-9072. You guys call in and we'll get you on the speakerphone and answer any questions and
have a short chit chat.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll start talking about this coming up week's ball games, right?
Absolutely.
We've got a couple of good games on the schedule this week.
Which ones do you like?
Utah State 3-1 at LSU, 4-0. I don't think it'll be much of a ball game with them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Evidently, Utah State runs an up-tempo offense, so maybe that struggling a little bit on defense there, it might affect them. You know, it might affect them a little bit.
I've been to that stadium
Have
in
you?
Logan, Utah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful setting. Absolutely beautiful setting.
Well, they are coming to LSU, so
Oh,
I don't think LSU's got to. Yeah, it's in Baton Rouge.
I'm just saying. I've been
I got
there,
you. Yeah.
Pretty neat environment there.
Ruin a paint job, Jim says. It'll make it look good, Jim. Look real good on your red Georgia truck, Jim.
I got number 14 Iowa at number 19 Michigan.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Michigan's a 4-point favorite at this time.
4-point favorite. That'll be interesting. You know, we'll find out a little bit about Iowa. They're undefeated right now.
Yeah.
And Michigan is who knows what.
Right.
What are we getting this week?
Right.
You know?
So if they beat Iowa, does that?
If they beat them, I mean, it adds a little validity there, but they're still not. I don't think they're going to be in the running for a Big Ten championship, much less, you know, playoff berth.
Who are you picking in that game?
In the Iowa-Michigan game?
Yeah. At Michigan.
I'm going with Iowa.
Big house.
I'm going with Iowa. Just because I don't really care for Michigan.
Bo says Iowa. I got Iowa. So.
I believe it's Iowa all the way this weekend.
What game you got next?
Next game I got on the list here is Auburn and Florida. In the swamp.
Auburn's giving up 3.
Giving up 3.5 on my sheet, but
okay.
yeah.
Depending on which.
And I think they're going to cover that easy.
What tells me who you're picking?
Yeah.
You got the number one team in the country.
You know who I'm picking in this one. Auburn by... I'm going Auburn by 3 touchdowns.
I'm picking Auburn. Big time.
Yeah.
Florida finally gets exposed.
I think so, too. I believe Florida will be exposed really bad.
So Florida's they beat Texas A&M like everybody else.
Do what now? I was reading the comment right there.
I said if they beat Texas A&M like everybody else. No, who'd they beat? Florida beat somebody. I thought I had a chance to beat them.
No, you didn't. It's Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only team they played, unless you thought Townsend was going to beat them this week, which I kind of thought Townsend might give them a hard time.
Busy.
I mean, you know, it's 38-0. That's a little closer than I thought.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah. So we both got Auburn big. I got number 3 Georgia at Tennessee.
Number 3 Georgia at Tennessee.
Georgia giving up 25.5.
They cover.
Corey's quick on that one.
They cover.
It's only 4 touchdowns.
I know. They'll have that by the end of the first quarter. Bo up here looking at me like, what? What are you talking about?
Another game that
I'm
could
telling you, Bo.
salvage the season for Tennessee.
Georgia is about to open up this offense.
It could happen. How many points did Alabama score last year in the first quarter against Tennessee?
No, I don't remember.
It was like 28, I think.
The only reason they don't cover is they're up 56-0 at the half, and they put their backups in, and, well, they still cover.
They covered. They covered. Who else you got?
Well, I've got a 3-1 Texas team going to Morgantown, West Virginia, against a 3-1 West Virginia team.
What's the spread on that?
I think that's
one?
an interesting ball game. Spread on that one is -10.5. Texas giving up. So, 2 3-1 Big 12 teams. Both of them are undefeated in the Big 12. They're 1-0 each.
Texas has to travel.
Texas got to travel. So I think that'll be a good game to keep an eye on.
Texas got too much offense, though.
I believe so. I don't know enough about West Virginia,
I don't either.
you know, to really give a good prediction in this game. I feel like Texas is going to go there and do what they need to win the football game.
Yeah.
Whether they'll cover or not, I have no idea just because I don't know enough about West Virginia and
Right.
what they've got going on up there right now.
I got Michigan State and Ohio State.
Yeah.
At Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State giving up 20.
Both of them are 2-0 in the Big Ten. Ohio State's giving them 20. I just don't know what kind of Michigan State team they have. Who's their one loss to? I remember when they lost thinking, well, that's kind of disappointing because I thought they might give a no, we didn't do that last week, babe, with the hats. We did kind of pair up the teams
Big
this week,
matchups.
the matchups on the table, but we didn't do that last week.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Michigan State. I just feel like they don't have much to offer.
I don't know. Does Ohio State cover? I don't know. Who did Michigan State lose to, Bo? Try to find that. Try to find that because when they lost, I thought
Arizona State.
they lost to Arizona State.
And who did Arizona State beat this week?
They beat Cal this week, which was undefeated, who had beat
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. And
At Ole
it's
Miss.
a little bit of a carousel right now with some of these one-loss teams. It's weird.
Yeah.
But I think Ohio State wins the ball game. Do they cover the 20? Yes. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go out on a limb.
You got any more games?
Well, speaking of, we've got a 4-1 Cal team going to Oregon as a 3-1 team. Cal is 1-1 in the Pac-12. Oregon's 1-0. And again, Oregon hasn't given up a touchdown since the Auburn game. First
Who they
game of the
played,
year.
though?
I don't know. But they ain't gave up a touchdown, brother. Who else can say that? Who else can say that?
Their defense did look pretty good
Not many.
against Auburn early on.
Georgia can't
Then they
say
went to
that.
sleep.
Alabama can't say that. Clemson can't say that. So,
That'll
anyway,
change this weekend, though.
that was the other game I had to keep an eye on this coming week.
I added Pitt at Duke.
Pitt at Duke.
Duke's only giving up 4.
That's not on my list. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not a big game, but
Right. So, reason you added that is if Duke loses to Pitt,
what's Duke, 4-1?
Alabama's win over Duke just don't look that good no
That's
more.
right. No, I ain't
I don't
searching
know.
that bad, but
I have
Duke's
no idea.
4-1, I think.
4-1. No phone calls.
They hadn't played anybody really, though.
706-550-9072. Somebody call in.
That'd be a great way to end the show, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Call in. We want some interaction here. We got an opportunity to take a phone call this week and from now on, really.
Yeah.
So you guys get your questions together and call in or disagree with us on something. We'll be all right.
Duke's 3-1.
Duke's 3-1. One loss to the mighty Crimson Tide. First game of the season.
Yeah. You want to talk about
Just wasn't ready.
the bill that passed this week? The governor signed it.
The governor signed it, which that governor out there in California, he's signed a lot of stupid stuff lately. But I won't get into none of that other stuff. We'll just talk about this one.
Right. This one's equally stupid,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, I can understand where you're coming from there, but I can also kind of understand the players' side of it. You know?
Because all they get out of it's, I looked it up. A out-of-state student. Uh-oh, we're getting a call here.
Getting a phone call.
First one.
First
on
one
College
ever
Football
on
Breakdown.
College Football Breakdown. Oh, boy. I know this number.
Hey,
Hello.
Hey.
I just need to know if Corey bought my sweatshirt.
I told you it's not cold enough to buy a sweatshirt yet.
For those of you who
I
don't
need
know,
you to buy it.
this is Corey's wife, Crystal. What's up, Crystal?
Yes, I had to walk home from work because Corey left in the dark. The dogs almost ate my legs off.
Oh, my goodness. Babe,
You want the red one, right?
no, she wants the gray one.
You don't want that gray,
Gray
one.
one
It looks
right there.
ugly in person.
Listen, do you have a real intelligent football question for us?
I do. I do not have a real intelligent
You
football
do not?
question.
You love football, though.
No.
I mean, you're like all into it. You yell at the TV. I mean, you go crazy when you're watching the ball games.
it's annoying.
You're our first ever call on the show.
Well, I know. I'm so excited.
Who's your favorite team, Kristen?
I was like, I get to talk. Well, this week I'm pulling for Auburn.
Okay.
Mostly because of our friends in Florida, and I think it would be funny to, just
Be able
kind of
to
rub their nose in it a little.
be able to harass
I
them a
love
little
the
bit.
Watsons, though. I love them.
That's what it's all about, though. Part of the fun is rubbing it in friends' noses, right?
That's right. That's what
That's all.
That's what brought
all.
this show about.
Crystal, do you think players should get paid? Or do you think that they should they have the right to sell the rights to their image or to their
Name
signature?
or their likeness. That's
That's
a
hard one.
That's a huge topic right now in the college football world nationally. Is this new bill
Oh,
that's
I know this.
passed?
I see Facebook. But, okay, this is it. Kids are dumb, and, any of us between 18 and 22 would not have had the intellect to, be able to control that. And I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. That's my official stance. It's a bad idea.
There's going to be a lot of unintended consequences that come out of it, but I believe it's going to. I think it's going to happen. It's going to go nationwide. There's already 5 other states that are filing bills to pass the same law, so to speak, and it's going to have a lot of unintended consequences.
It's going to
If they
open up
took that
Pandora's
money
box.
and they put it in the
It will.
trust, until they're 25. But I think it would not be very smart to give an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20, 22-year-old that kind of money on a college level. I just don't think. I mean, that's what the NFL's for. Go there and play.
There is a conversation about it going into something instead of them getting it right now. It going into a fund of some sort that they get after they're out of
I think
college
that's
or
a
something
brilliant
like
idea.
that.
I think that's a
Well, how
brilliant
about
idea.
this? How about they pay the school back the scholarship money? How about they pay that back? And
Now,
let
there's a
some
thought.
underprivileged
Well,
kids-
and that brings up a good point. Okay, let's say a player gets a full ride to a university, and that player does have a high image and a high name, and the university says, look, you can sell your name, your image, your likeness, and you can make money off that, but you forfeit your scholarship when you do that.
I think that would be fair.
So
Out-of-state tuition for 4 years at Georgia, at the University of Georgia, is going to be over $120,000. That's the value of the education these kids are getting.
Yeah.
That's just tuition. That doesn't talk room and board, food, spending money they get.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot more conversation about this topic for weeks and weeks to come.
Absolutely.
And I think it's by 2023. Is that when they're planning on it, enacting this or something like that? So
The NCAA requested more time and were denied.
they were denied.
They were denied.
They wanted more time
Beyond 2023.
beyond 2023.
Yeah.
They ought to be able to handle that within that time frame. I mean, I can understand them requesting more time, but yeah, you ought to be able to. If you're the NCAA, you ought to be able to come up with a game plan between now and 2023.
Yeah.
But they're just not. They're not going to be able to do anything, about it. And I mean, I heard some conversation where it's going to create conflict between teams because running back, he's going to be a more high-profile guy. Quarterback's going to be a more high-profile guy than these offensive linemen. And these offensive linemen are going to be like, you're making what?
Yeah.
And I'm blocking for you?
You're driving what?
I'm getting a cut off of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be getting a cut out of this somehow, some way.
Well, that hits right at my...
Or the next time you're going to run in my hole, you're going to get killed.
Well, that's exactly... that hits right at the issue. The biggest issue I have with it is it's going to take the we out of college football, and it's going to make it a big... What's left of the we.
Yeah.
It's going to take what's left of the we out of college football, and it's going to make it all about me, and it's going to ruin the sport.
And look, go ahead, Bo. What was you
In
going
the
to say?
NFL, I mean, it's common for quarterbacks to pay offensive linemen. buy them stuff.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Offensive line plays well for the quarterback. He takes care of them financially, gifts, those kind of things. Because, the quarterback is the high-profile, big-money position. But anyway, babe, I'll get that sweatshirt for you. Don't you worry.
Love you.
Dude, you've been saying that for 3 weeks.
Look, I know how cold you like to be, so this sweatshirt, I don't see it getting worn too much. Anytime
It's going to be cold next week.
in the near future.
I predict it's going to be cold next week. That's
You're
what I
predicting
predict.
it?
It's going to be cold next week.
Hey, babe, who's going to win the Georgia-Tennessee game?
Oh, my gosh. Are you serious?
I am.
Why? Don't even make me say. I feel sorry for Tennessee. I feel sorry for everybody that goes to Gatlinburg. I feel sorry for everybody. I feel sorry for people that go to Nashville. I just feel sorry for the whole state.
Hey, have you been to Southern Traditions to shop yet?
I have been.
Pretty cool place, huh?
It is.
What do you like about it?
Well, I like the artsy stuff. Like, I'm not real big on the
Fan cave?
sports memorabilia,
Yeah.
but there's a whole bunch of that stuff. But I love the handcrafted stuff out front.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is very cool stuff.
Yes. And they have ice creams. They have an ice cream freezer. I'm sure Corey found that. Because like, ice cream is his jam.
But I haven't got one yet.
Do not let Corey eat ice cream.
Corey sticks to his
Right.
fasting diet.
Intermittent fasting.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Stick
he
to
does.
it.
I can vouch for him there. Thanks for
Yeah,
calling
well, he's
in.
supposed to.
Yeah, he is. Thanks for calling in.
Yep. We're
Are
going.
you telling me bye?
Yeah, we're saying bye,
You're
babe.
trying to get rid of me?
You've been on here for 8 minutes. So we got to let other
y'all
callers.
just kept
We got
chattering back
calls.
and forth,
We got
and I
so
couldn't
many
say
calls
anything.
lined up. We ain't getting to. We got to answer them.
Hey, not only is it the first call, and
Oh my God.
it's the first call in
Do I
college
get a
football
prize?
breakdown,
Do I get a prize, like a sweatshirt?
but it's also the
I mean, that would be
longest.
nice.
It's also the longest call.
The first and the longest, probably. That's right.
And yes, you will
I
get
know
a
what-
sweatshirt out of the deal.
I should get a sweatshirt out of the deal.
You're
for
going to.
sure.
You're going to.
Okay.
Just not
It
tonight.
needed to match my leggings. You
Just-
know those leggings you got me for Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Got to make you a
Okay.
Georgia girl somehow.
That's right.
But I won't have a
I don't
sweatshirt
care.
tonight.
I just need it to be cute and like fuzzy and stretchy.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Look, seriously though, it's like nighttime 30.
all
So hurry up.
All right.
be home in about an hour and a half, babe. I'm going to hang with Bo and Bret tonight after the show.
No, you're not. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See you. That was a great call.
That was awesome. If everything they earn goes into an account, they can draw on with no cash out. Yes, let it happen.
I
It's
like
going to
that.
happen, yeah. And I mean, I think that's a good way to approach it for sure.
You say it's going to happen in 2023.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, all these other states are going to be filing bills. And, I mean, there's no way the NCAA can say, well, none of y'all can participate in NCAA anymore. You know why? Because they're going to be like, we don't care. We're going to play. We're going to do our own schedules. We're going to do our own championships. I mean, they're not going to have the NCAA.
So they're going to leave Alabama. They're going to leave Georgia. They're going to leave Florida. They're going to leave Ohio out of there. I mean, what kind of competition would they have?
You talking about NCAA?
I'm talking about these states. How many are there? 4 or 5?
Right now.
Right now.
But that's just that quick. I'm telling you, all the states are going to sign in this deal.
I got a bad feeling you're right, but I hate it.
I don't
think it's stupid.
I don't know what it's going to do to the whole atmosphere. I'm not sure. I just don't know. But I can see it happening across the board.
Oh, yeah. I can too.
This ain't just football.
No, it won't be just football.
You know what? We'll be going to a whole lot more Ringo and Northwest games. Because I'm going to get a football fix somehow.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I love my football.
Yep.
Like to watch it.
Me too.
If they're lining up, button heads, I'm going to be watching it when I get
That's
a
right.
chance.
That's right. Well, another great show, Corey.
Absolutely.
Any final words, final thoughts?
No, just, appreciate you guys that's tuned in and commented. Sorry we couldn't get to all the comments there and interact with you, but just looking forward to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
I think each week from here on out, the games are going to be getting better and the conversation is going to be getting better for sure.
Yes or no? 3-point game, Auburn, Florida. You still got Auburn number 1.
Yes or no, 3-point game.
If it's a 3-point game, do you still have Auburn number 1?
Do I still have Auburn number 1? Yes.
Yes. He will.
Because guess what?
It ain't going to be a 3-point game.
It's not going to be a 3-point game. But if it is, what's Florida ranked right now?
9th.
Somebody out there
10th.
knows. Somebody out there knows more about them than me because I don't put them that high.
Yeah.
They probably would be in the 20s right now for me.
Yeah.
But they're still up there. So if it is a tight ball game, that still ain't bad on Auburn's resume.
Be fun to watch. What time's that
There's
game?
that number, term again.
Yeah. Resume.
What time is it? What time's the ball game?
3:30 CBS. Game.
It's a 3:30 CBS game, Georgia, Tennessee, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Oh, the Georgia, Tennessee game. Georgia fans are going to checkerboard Neyland Stadium in red and black, baby. That's what I meant to bring up earlier. Going checkerboard in red and black. We're going to fill it with 100,000 Georgia
Are you
fans. No.
No.
I'd like to.
Are you racing?
I might. I don't know. Heck. We'll see. We'll
That'd
see
be
how it works out.
crazy.
But no, I'll probably be sitting home watching it most likely.
Yeah, me too.
Last time I went to Knoxville and watched Georgia, Tennessee play, it was a hobnail boot. Love it. Stomped them right in the nose with a hobnail boot. Sitting there in that end zone watching it. Loved it.
With who?
2001. Mike Varner,
Really?
Kim Varner, Crystal, and Carden. He was 5 months old.
That was a long time ago.
I about got through over the rail. I jumping up, yelling. All it was Tennessee fans around me. I said, I better sit down. There had a lot more of them than me.
That was a close game.
That was an exciting ball game.
Yeah, it was.
Up and down the field in the last few minutes. I'd never been so high, so low, so high, so low, back and forth. It was unreal.
It was a great game.
Coach Rick's first year. David Green.
Yeah.
That was good. It was good stuff.
All right, guys. Good night. Be sure and tune in next week.
Say bye.
Bye.